Members of the St. Kitts and Nevis National Assembly were sworn into Parliament as the Team Unity Coalition government begins its second term in office. The 8th July special sit-in was held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort to facilitate COVID-19 safety protocols as invited guests, members of the public, and senior officers of the civil service listened to Governor General Sir Tapley Seaton deliver the throne speech. The Governor General said government will pursue the agenda for the federal administration on the 6 pledges. These are 1, to build out a diversified and resilient economy, 2, to improve the quality of life of the people, 3, to protect the people on the country's borders, 4, to enhance public services and infrastructure, 5, to pursue a greener and more sustainable future, and 6, to continue implementing the good governance agenda. On the good governance agenda, Sir Tapley said, the Team Unity government will have a strong implementation commitment in the second term.
Mr. Speaker, in 2015, my government would have campaigned on a good governance agenda that has had as its fulcrum the preservation of our democracy that had been steadily eroded by the previous regime. In 2020 and beyond, this is an even more focused commitment for my government's second term in office. As a result, the following are some of the goals that will be pursued. Constitutional reform that is inclusive of electoral reform, inclusive of a mandated residency requirement for voter eligibility. This will be the subject of national consultation in order to arrive at a consensus position. Enact legislation limiting the tenure of the Prime Minister to 2 consecutive terms. Careful review of constituency boundaries. Production of a new boundaries report and parliamentary approval of revised boundaries that are in line with the demographic shifts in the local population, rather than being contrived through political expedience. Review of public procurement legislation that provides a fair chance for the private sector to bid on and supply goods and services to the public sector. Review constitution and laws to ensure better governance arrangement in and between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Nevis Island Administration, NIA. Establish a tenders board that builds in transparency and scrutiny with regards to the award of major government contracts, etc. Complete operationalizing of the Integrity in Public Life Act 2013 for parliamentarians and other senior government officials.
Mr. Michael Perkins remains a Speaker of the National Assembly, and he gets a Deputy Speaker in Dr. Bernicia Nisbet, who sits as a Senator on the government benches. Glenn Batt, SK Newsline.
The opposition St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party boycotted the opening of the National Assembly on Wednesday. The party, in a press statement Wednesday morning, said the decision was taken after thoughtful and careful consideration based on the conduct of the June 5th elections. Party leader is Dr. Denzel Douglas.
This decision was taken after thoughtful and careful deliberation based on the assessment of the massive malpractices that tarnished the political environment of the June 5th, 2020 general election, which, in our view, was neither free, fair, nor just. However, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party remains unswervingly committed to representing the people's concerns, their desires and aspirations throughout our federation. The elected representatives of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party refuse to be complicit in sanctioning a system of apparent election rigging and voter suppression that has been established, that has been promoted and protected by the illegitimate Harris-led coalition regime.
The party insists that the conduct of the June 5th general election misrepresented a miscarriage of justice and democracy.
In the face of the rampant corruption, massive fraud, widespread irregularities, and allegations of bribery, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party intends to send a strong message that democracy matters, and we will not stand by and allow such practices to become the norm in our voting and election processes here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Furthermore, the party leader said he is waiting the settling of certain outstanding matters relating to the effective operations of his office after meeting with Governor General Sir Tapley Seaton.
These matters were not resolved during the last parliamentary session and must be addressed and corrected if the office of the leader of the opposition is to function effectively.
The Labour Party is challenging the conduct of the elections in 6 constituencies and has thus filed election petitions to this regard. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
It's not just iced tea and it's not cold tea. But who said we couldn't be in the middle? We are Mother Becky Quenchers, a herbal iced tea. It's a different and innovative take on using traditional herbs for tea. It's a home-brewed blend of natural organic herbs and spices, ready to drink at any time. We've turned ingredients you've used many times into something crisp, thirst-quenching, and did we mention tastes awesome? Drinking tea just got better. Mother Becky Tea.
In these stressful times, you need relief, a way to release your stress and care for your health. You need Serenity. Yes, Serenity Mobile Spa, where we come to your home and offer the very best in massage and spa treatment. Your health is our priority as we practice the highest hygiene procedures before, during, and after your treatment. Choose from massages to meet your physical needs, scrubs, facials, waxing, and much more. We also provide our customers a complimentary serving of refreshing local coconut water with each massage. During these restricted times, we urge our customers to stay healthy. We will come to you.
Call us at 762-0157 or 760-8899. Find us on Facebook, Serenity Mobile Spa St. Kitts, or email us at serenitymobile-spa869@gmail.com.
Serenity Mobile Spa.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one. The Eastern Caribbean Appeal Court has upheld the ruling in the case involving Lindsey Grant and Janelle Powell for the misappropriation of $460,000, that's 1.2 million EC dollars, belonging to a client. Their application to overturn a default judgment of High Court Judge His Lordship Justice Eddie Ventos was also denied by the appeal court. Chief Justice Her Ladyship Dame Janice Pereira and the Justices Louise Blenman and Gerard Ferrara wrote in their judgment that the delay by Grant and Powell in making the application was inordinate. No good explanation for the delay was proffered, and any prejudice they suffered was of their own making in their lax approach to obeying timelines or seemingly uninterested in taking corrective measures, even when given notice of them. The appeal court judges said Powell and Grant failed to demonstrate realistic prospect of success on appeal, let alone a good prospect of upsettling the ruling of Justice Ventos. The appeal court heard arguments in the case on June 10th and 29th and denied the application of Powell and Grant for leave to appeal the interlocutory decision of High Court Judge Justice Eddie Ventos in refusing to set aside the default judgment against them and in favor of Mr. Tanzania Tobin Tanzil. In the written judgment on July 6th, the justices noted that Powell and Grant, although well-seasoned attorneys at law, had failed to put forward any reason which may be given as good explanation. And why it took 13 days for the dismissal of an application by the full court to raise an application to extend time has been left wholly unexplained, the appeal court found. The court further frowned on what it said was a full-scale collateral attack by lawyers of Grant and Powell on the default judgment entered on the 9th of October 2018, noting, if ever there was an ambush, this was surely one and ought not to be countenanced by this court. The court agreed with Justice Ventos that although the $460,000 was paid by Powell and Grant after Tanzil had begun his court action, Powell and Grant have not shown that they have a real prospect of successfully defending the other aspects of the claim in respect to breach of trust, breach of fiduciary duty, failing to account, or misappropriation of monies belonging to the claimant, Tanzil. It does not follow that an eventual payment out of monies held by a trustee or fiduciary cures the breach of trust or breach of fiduciary duty, or that the monies may not have been misappropriated, or that accounting need not be given by the custodian of the funds in respect for the period the funds were so held. In short, the learned Judge Ventos has merely succinct in saying that these causes of action had not been addressed by the defendant. Further, when the draft defense of Powell and Grant was examined by the judge, the defendant's defense amounted to bare denial. Stating that this runs afoul of the rules of the court, the judges were of the view that the applicants have failed to show that Justice Ventos erred in his approach in his assessment of the draft defense. Interestingly, the judgment noted a request was made by Grant and Powell to suggest that they are facing the greater prejudice having regard to the nature of the judgment against them and their standing as politicians and members of government. The justices ruled that this is an irrelevant consideration in assessing prejudice in the context of this case. Before the court, all parties are equal and entitled to equal protection before the law. One class of person is not afforded some greater privilege and merits more consideration than another by virtue of political or ministerial portfolio, the judgment said. Powell and Grant were represented by Mr. Brian Barnes, Dr. Henry Brown QC, and Mr. Anthony Ross QC. Mrs. Angelina Gracie Sukubob and Mr. Sylvester Anthony represented Mr. Tanzil Tobin. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The newest senator in the National Assembly, Dr. Bernicia Nisbet, was sworn in on Tuesday and is the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly. Dr. Nisbet currently serves as the District Medical Officer responsible for communities stretching from Parsons Village to Newton Ground. She was sworn in as Senator and the next Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly during a ceremony at the Government House on Tuesday. That ceremony was attended by His Excellency the Governor-General, Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards, Minister of Youth General Powell, and Minister of Health Akila Byron Nisbet. Giving remarks during the brief ceremony, Dr. Nisbet revealed that it was seeing Akila Byron Nisbet as a young woman serving as Deputy Speaker of the House that motivated her to become active in the democratic life of St. Kitts and Nevis. Dr. Bernicia Nisbet concluded that as medical doctor, she has always been passionate about serving and helping people, and taking this opportunity will help her to serve St. Kitts in a wider capacity. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The health of everyone involved in football is of paramount importance to the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, the SKNFA, as it looks to resume football competitions. That's according to General Secretary of the SKNFA, Stanley Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs disclosed that the SKNFA on the weekend met with member clubs to discuss matters pertaining to the resumption of football, bringing awareness to the teams.
The phased approach is a level 2 launch of sporting activities in St. Kitts and Nevis. And what that does, it's allow for the commencement of sporting activities. And for organized sports, it's the non-contact skills training, passing, shooting, header for football. Those are the things that. So it allows for the member clubs, the teams, to begin training, and that is very important because the players have been off out of action for an extended period of time. It is very important that they go through what is termed in football and in sports as periodization. And we expect that this periodization will run for approximately 6 weeks, which is the initial training and building up to the high intensity training. In sports and in football in particular, it would not be wise or healthy for the players to rush back into high-intensity football because they have been inactive for such a long time.
He said that the SKNFA is assisting the teams in following the guidelines laid out by the health authorities as it relates to COVID-19. One such area is providing sanitization solutions for the clubs and water bottles for the players.
Because football is a contact sport like basketball, it is deemed one of the high-risk sports for COVID-19 transmission. So we have to be extremely careful. These clubs are asked to have their training areas sanitized and have hand sanitizers at the training ground. One of the critical new initiatives that will be implemented is that no longer going forward will players be sharing water bottles. So that will be discontinued. That is one of the initiatives that is something that will be discontinued. In fact, the SKNFA has already ordered enough water bottles to provide water bottles for every single player in the Premier League Division 1 women's football. So with those steps, the SKNFA is going to be leading the way to ensure that St. Kitts and Nevis we're able to have football, and we're able to have football in a safe environment.
Mr. Jacobs was keen to point out that the SKNFA is following the guidelines of the COVID-19 task force. This is important as it relates to determining whether fans would be allowed in the stadium and when football resumes.
We're taking it step by step. I think it's a bit early to comment on whether there will be crowds or not, because everything we do are guided by these regulations. And so if the regulations will have, in order for there to be crowds, the regulations will have to allow it.
Football activities were suspended late March in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The SKNFA is committed to completing the various football competitions and announced last week that the teams can resume non-contact training. As football teams are looking forward to the resumption of the SKNFA Premier League, one of the nation's big clubs is having some challenges. Players of the storied Newtown Football Club are distracted by the club's internal elections due at the end of this month, according to head coach Earl Jones.
Going around to the various players, seeing that the SKNFA now got the meeting out the way in terms of getting back on track with the football. Some of the players decide that they're going to stay away until that part of the process is complete. So for us, getting back together as a group would be very, 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 very difficult right now.
Coach Jones believes once the teams are given ample time by the Football Association between training and the resumption of the league, the players should be in a good position to be prepared. But the election is still taking center stage at this time.
If you look at it, once the SKNFA get that 6-week period out the door, which is required, that would be good for me. But still, you have to bear in mind the players themselves. If the players have to really focus on the football, though, I think while the elections is happening, or all of this campaigning stuff is going on, they should get themselves prepared still, do the little individual training and get themselves prepared. So when the elections is all over, at least they ain't starting from scratch, you know.
This season has been very challenging for Newtown so far, having lost some 18 players in the transfer window and a stop-start performance in the Premier League. Coach Jones said this is the first time he has seen so much buzz around the Newtown club elections, hence why the team is distracted at the moment by the process to determine the leadership of the club. Coach Jones reflects on the performance of the club in the league so far this season.
Before the COVID, we had about 17 points and missing out on six, that would have put us like something like 23. I mean, the fellas still had the spirit to go, and we know at the end we will have been in the 6. Some might say no, but because I was there with the players, I could be talking like this right now, you know. And if we really look at our team, even though we lost over 18 to 19 players, we still had a good group there. I think the group was manageable. It was small. Everybody was coming out because if you look at it, yes, we suffer some serious defeats in the season, and even though we still was competitive at times. So we was trying to get the balance right, and I think at the time we was coming along.
Newtown is currently in 6th position in the SKNFA Premier League table. For all your printing needs at top-notch quality, go to Digital Print Plus, located on Princess Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts. At Digital Print Plus, you get the best in business cards, letterheads, envelopes, wristbands, tent cards, rack cards, flyers, brochures, logo designs, posters, photos, architectural designs, 3D renderings, and so much more. Digital Print Plus gives you the best quality at competitive prices. Contact us at 767-7468 or email digitalprintskn@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook at Digital Print SKN. Digital Print Plus for all your printing needs at the best quality. Now you can have SKN Newsline on the go. Introducing SKN Newsline Android mobile app. Search SKN Newsline in the Google Play Store. Download the app free and stay up to date with TV news in St. Kitts and Nevis in the palm of your hands. With this app, you can watch your news reports, watch our live news feed on SKN Newsline TV, engage with us and other app users in the chat room, look at our special features, send us news tips, and call us directly. It's news on the go. The SKN Newsline Android mobile app. Download it free today.
Banners, commercial signs, decal printing, canvas prints, license plates, posters. We at Multigraphics are dedicated to providing quality products and service to our customers. Our team takes pride in the craftsmanship and is passionate about its work. Every job, large or small, is important. Most of our customers come to us through referrals. That's because our number one priority is service. We serve a wide variety of customers, such as restaurants, retail stores, manufacturers, trucking companies, and many more. Our capabilities include design, production, and installation. How can we help? We are located at Bird Rock at the Woods Right compound. Call us at 869-763-1511 or 784-491-7599. Multigraphics.
KVK Enterprises at Boyd's Housing Development, Trinity Parish, St. Kitts. For all your t-shirt printing, banners and signs, promotional products, shipping, motivational speeches, computer classes, agro-processing, art and craft, and desktop publishing. Come to KVK Enterprises at Boyd's Housing Development, Trinity, St. Kitts. Telephone 661-0118 or 765-7270. Email drkhrystus@kvklives.com or visit www.kvklives.com. KVK Enterprises.